Been painting a lot of Space Wolves. I think it's time for me to head back to my roots. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek video. I'm Phil, the Glacial Geek, and today I'm coming to you with a tutorial on how to do Dark Angels. Basically, I've been doing the Space Wolves, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And my painting abilities have increased significantly since when I first started painting models, especially when Dark Angels, which was started about a decade ago. You know what I mean? Part of that process of getting better is that I had just like a whole bunch of Dark Angels, and they will always hold a place in my heart. I love the Dark Angels. The first Legion they're my boys. You know what I mean? They always will be, and they will always have a place in my heart. But my painting skills have gotten better, which is why now that I'm embarking on this journey towards the top of the ITC in Hobby Track, I've decided that I'm going to stick with the Space Wolves and I'm going to keep building on them. So I'll have a lot more that I'm going to be doing with the Space Wolves, a lot of painting the Space Wolves. But I felt like right now felt like a good time to kind of like take a step back and like go back to my roots with Dark Angels and see what I could do with a Dark Angel theme, but still keep it kind of simple for army painting, but kind of use a little bit more of the skill set that I've been developing. It's not the full skill set that I use on my Space Wolves. It's still a pretty simple one. And I think that's important to show because at the same time, like I said, like a lot of this, the reason I'm going towards doing the Hobby Track and doing the ITC Hobby Track and painting the Space Wolves is that I want to paint armies. I want to paint armies that I can play with. And part of that is getting them done so that they can be on the table to be played with, and finding a scheme and a way to do it that's simple and easy to do and replicatable. Replicatable. We're gonna go with replicatable. It's important. Like otherwise, you're gonna be in a place where you're just gonna get like 5 guys done and not the entire army, and you're gonna be left, running out of steam. So if you can have an easy, simple scheme that uses a minimal number of paints, you can get yourself to a place that you'll be able to play with them on the tabletop. Be excited about the way they look. Be happy to put them up against anyone else's army and get more than just the bare minimum 10 points that you're going to get for a game of Warhammer 40k. But you want to have them painted for whatever game system that you're going to play. So the scheme that I have here, the army painter actually at the same time came to me and they were like, hey, we know you like Dark Angels, and that's like, yeah, duh. And they were like, we have this bundle that we're putting together for the Dark Angels. Would you be willing to give it a shot and try it? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Sounds great. So that was perfect because I felt like it was the perfect timing for me to like really kind of, like I said, take the step back, set back to my roots and see what I can do. So this is what I went about doing with my Dark Angels, with this Dark Angel theme, using the paint bundle that is available now from the Army Painter if you go and check it out. So starting off here, we're going to be working with a Intercessor here, an Intercessor Sergeant. I've primed it black and then gone in with a base coat of the Angel Green. You can also use just the colored primers that the Army Painter has. The same color it comes out. It's a color match, which is really nice. So you can use the green primer to get it all over. Because again, like you will see, it's just about getting it down, getting that first color down. You don't have to worry about going into other things because we're going to paint over it with the next steps that we have, which the first step here is going to be using a bit of oak brown to color in all of the pouches and the holster and the belt. I will also later use this for painting in his hair. So he's got a brown haircut, which is it was simple enough. It's part of the same thing. So why go out and looking for other paints if you don't have to, because they're just going to be there. Then I'm going to paint in the Aquila here with a dusty skull. Basically going for that, as opposed to like a gold one, I'm just going with like a bone color. This will also work for purity seals, which I do paint on his arm there. You can also use this on any kind of skulls that you have on different models that you have going on. It's a nice base coat for that. It does some nice coverage, and it looks really good in the next steps that we have going forward. Then we are going to paint the bolter here with pure red. It's a really bright, vibrant red, which is really nice, and I really like that aspect of the Dark Angels color scheme of the green armor with the red weapons that they have here. And again, you just want to get it down. I know there's a lot of bits and bobs there, but don't worry too much, especially in these early stages when you're putting down base coats. If you stress yourself too much about not getting the paint onto other areas, you're gonna make it more stressful and a pain to do. I then painted in his face here with skeleton bone, which remember that paint because we are going to use it later to do some highlighting on anything that we did the dusty skull on. It works really well. Then we have matte black, which is actually not part of the bundle, but they assume that you have a black paint. Just paint in any of like the, the rubberized things in his butt and then in between, at the back of his knees and elbows and stuff like that. It's really nice to have a color like this that just like gives a nice distinct stop between like the whole fields of gray that you have going on here. We also have, then I also, when I did the black, I blacked in all the areas that were going to be metallic. So I used a gunmetal to paint in the silver parts I have here. Again, not in the bundle, but it's, use any kind of silver that you want. And then I used a bright gold to paint in the gold parts there. I'm sorry, a greedy gold. And here is a new product that the Army Painter has coming out, which is basically it's a speed paint palette. So it's like one of those fidget poppers, except the wells are way bigger than any other kind of fidget popper that I've seen before. It's really nice and rubberized. It does not stick to it, so you can just pop them out once it's dried, get going on here. I thought I'd show it off because it's, again, a new product that's out there. And I really like it. It's nice, it's solid, it's not gonna tip over because it's nice and solid there. But yeah, so then I take the strong skin shade that is part of the bundle here and I put it over everything except the gun. I put it on everything except the gun. It gives it a nice unifying wash here, which brings all the colors together, unifies them. And then I went with a soft tone on the gun because it's a little less dark. It's a little less dark, it's a bit more light of a shade, but still gives the definition. But I wanted the red to be brighter and pop on the gun here, and also the silvers you want to be brighter. Now we're gonna go into, once those are dried, into the highlight stage. So we're gonna take a little bit of green skin here and do an edge highlight on all of the green. The beauty of doing Space Marines, so you're talking about Dark Angels here, the beauty of doing Space Marines is that they've got a lot of edges, and everything's edges. So you just have to go around, find an edge, put run the edge of the brush over the edge there with the green skin, and it just leaves a little bit on the edge, pops it, gives it some definition there. Doing the same thing on the red of the gun here with Legendary Red, which is another, it's actually in a different triad than the pure red, which is a nice way to kind of work there using the tonal shift versus just like a darker or lighter version there. And again, like I said, remember the skeleton bone. We've gone back here and now we are going to highlight the Aquila on his chest. We'll also highlight the purity seal on his arm and anywhere else that we use it. I think I used it also on like on the skull on his holster that I had there, the same system there. I then take the dusty skull, which was the base I used on the Aquila, and I used it to do a highlight on all of the leather parts, so on the belts and on the pouches here. And what I start with is I do an edge highlight to give it a pop and dimension and kind of define it that's going on there. And then once I have that edge highlight around all the areas, I'll go back and I'll just put these little like marks along the edge here, going back towards the edge. And what it does is it looks like a worn leather. And you have another option that you could do. I didn't do it on this, but you can go back over it with a wash to darken it down a bit, but I like it. It looks really good in my opinion. And that's the final thing. It just comes all together. I'm really happy with the way it looks. It was a very simple scheme, very simple techniques to make this work, so you can easily do this over the course of an entire army, and it's gonna do well. It's gonna look good on the table for you, pop, and you're gonna get your points for the game, or you're just gonna be able to show off to your friends that you've got a fully painted army. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's easy to do. The model was like very quick and easy to do. Space Marines are fun to paint because they've got very distinct shapes and edges and ends and beginnings of points, and they've got a lot of different bits and bobs and different textures that you can work with. So they're a lot of fun to paint with. They're a lot of fun to explore, a lot of fun to like push yourself. And if you want to keep moving more into them, they've got a lot of volumetric shapes if you want to start getting into shading. But as you can see, this is a very simple method. So it's very much just base coat, wash, and then I went with the edge highlights, which, a lot of times previously I was like, you don't need to do as much worry about highlights, and that's true. You definitely don't need to do highlights if you are just getting them done to go onto the tabletop. A base coat and a wash will do you a lot of work in that because it'll give you the dimension from the wash, and then your natural light that you're playing with will have it. But if you want to push it a little bit further, then you can go into the edge highlights like this, and it's a simple way to highlight. You don't have to worry about thinking about volumetric shapes. You really, if it's just an edge, you do it, and it gives that edge highlight, and it pops it a little bit more and makes it a little bit extra than just having the dimensions for the model. And you'll still get the lighting coming down and giving you volumetric shaping and shading on the model itself, on the tabletop. So super easy, super simple. Is this gonna win you Golden Demon? No, but is that your goal? Probably not. If you're listening to this, it's probably not your goal. But it is a way to kind of upgrade your painting scheme from just the bare 3-color minimum, but not going so far that you're gonna be sitting there dreading your life having to paint like 50 of these guys. They're gonna be simple enough, you can get them done, you can do it in a batch, which is really nice and easy, and just pop them off and get them on the table and go play with them, which is great. So let me know what you guys think about it down below. I'd love to hear what you think about the way this scheme looks, with the color choices. What would you do differently, or what is yours looking like? And does this help? Because also this is like a really good way to do just like a green and red scheme, because green and red work really well. They're complementary colors. And sometimes they can be Christmassy, but I feel like the Dark Angels, they work well. And there's ways that you can use that same kind of color scheming in other armies that you want to do, other game systems, different things, whatever it is. It's an easy enough system that you can use in the same bundle will work for that. So if you like that color scheme, you know, go ahead and go for it, because I think it'd be great. Also, you know, using like the same paints that I used on like the Aquila there, those would be great if you have robes in your characters. So if you're doing like Sternguard veterans, or if you just got the robed characters or robed anything, they make for a very good robe pairing there. You got like the base of the Dusty Skull, and then you highlight up, wash it, and then highlight up with the skeleton bone. So also of note, I am a member of the Army Painters Factory team, which you probably know because of the beginning, and also because I'm wearing the shirt. So I've said it in all my videos. So I'm a member of the Army Painter Factory team. There's a lot that comes to me because of that. And I know that I would not be in this position to be on the factory team if it wasn't for you guys, the viewers who watch my videos. So I wanted to make sure that because of what I was getting from it, because of you guys, I wanted to make sure there's a way for me to give back and say thank you to you. So if you go to the Army Painter and use the code FactoryGeek5, you can save yourself 5% off, including the bundle that we were using today in this tutorial. So you can get yourself 5% off of your order there, save yourself 5%. Also, they've turned that now. It originally was just a discount code when I first started giving it out, and now they've upgraded it to an affiliate code. So it gives you guys still the 5% off, and it gives me a kickback as well. So it's a way to give back to the channel without costing you anything more, and you also get to save some money, which is win-win for everybody. And also, if you are a member of my Patreon, thank you very much. I really appreciate all the direct support that you guys give to this channel to keep it going, to keep me moving forward, and especially going forward now with this ITC track. It's going to be super helpful and super encouraging to have you guys aboard and helping with that. But as extra thank you for your direct support that you're giving me, behind the paywall there's another code that you can use and get yourself 10% off. So you will be able to save yourself additional money when you get to use that code. So again, let me know down below what you think, if you're going to use it. If not, that's great. But you know, I hope you at least found this entertaining and interesting. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I certainly have. I've been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.